Picture this, you're in Canada on an IEC Working Holiday Visa work permit, and like many others, you're enjoying your time traveling and working in Canada. But your work permit is about to expire, and you're unsure to extend your stay. So let's explore available options to help you stay in Canada longer. In this video, we'll answer your question on how to stay in Canada after your Working Holiday Visa expires. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Before we dive in, we just want to remind you about Canada's immigration rules. It's crucial to stick to them to avoid serious consequences. For instance, overstaying after your visa or work permit expires is a big no-no. If your work permit is expiring, you have three options. Either renew it, apply for a different temporary visa, or return home. Remember, overstaying can lead to legal trouble, so it's best to avoid it altogether. Can you extend your IEC work permit? Well, IEC work permits are extendable only under extraordinary conditions. Therefore, you'll need to explore other options that suit your situation best. Remember, the goal is to find what you're eligible for, and with that, here are 5 options worth looking into. Option 1, applying for a second IEC work permit. Now guys, depending on your country of citizenship, you might be allowed to participate in the IEC twice. This option by far offers the most flexibility for IEC candidates. So if you want to see if you can participate more than once, make sure to visit this webpage for the latest information. Now, just be mindful there are specific criteria to meet for the second IEC work permit, and they are the following. First, citizenship of a participating IEC country. Second, be between the ages of 18 to 30 or 35, depending on your country of citizenship. Third, your country allows participation in the IEC program again, or you have a written job offer in Canada. And finally, you must also have health insurance coverage for your stay. Now, some countries like the UK, San Marino, and Korea allow participation in the Working Holiday Visa twice. However, in most other participating countries, you cannot repeat the same category you've applied for previously. For example, some countries allow 2 participations, but if you've applied for a Working Holiday Visa before, you can extend your stay through another IEC category, aka the Young Professionals or International Co-op Program. It's also crucial to note that some countries require a break between the expiry date of your first Canadian work permit under IEC and the submission date of your second IEC work permit application. Unfortunately, this means you won't be allowed to stay in Canada when your first IEC work permit expires, and you would only be allowed to apply to return to Canada at a later date. Now let's move on to the second option, and that is to apply for a different work permit. If you have special skills or training, you might be able to stay in Canada by obtaining a new work permit through one of the 2 programs. And they are the Temporary Foreign Workers Program or the International Mobility Program. The Temporary Foreign Worker Program, or TFW program, is designed to allow Canadian employers to hire foreign workers to fill temporary labor shortages when qualified Canadian citizens or permanent residents are not available. The process involves getting an LMIA, or Labor Market Impact Assessment. On the other hand, the International Mobility Program is more about Canada's overall economic and cultural goals. This program allows employers to hire temporary foreign workers without a Labor Market Impact Assessment. Now, before choosing this option, just be aware that you may encounter significant challenges, and let me highlight the 3 key hurdles that you might face. First, there's the complex LMIA process. Obtaining one can be daunting because your employer needs to demonstrate the need for hiring you, as no qualified Canadian is available for the job. This process is often viewed as tedious and complicated due to its detailed requirements and documentation. Secondly, there's employer compliance. Employers must adhere to specific regulations, and some may hesitate to avoid complications in the job hiring process. Lastly, if you're applying under the International Mobility Program, just because of the broad LMIA exemptions or the need for you to prove that you serve broader economic and cultural goals, being selected under this criteria can be challenging. Moving on, let's talk about option 3, and that's extending your stay as a visitor. If you want to extend your stay in Canada after your Working Holiday Visa, you can apply to change your status from worker to a visitor. Remember, while you can technically apply up to the expiry date of your work permit and still benefit from maintained status, it's advisable to aim for applying for your visitor record at least 30 days before your work permit expires to avoid any complications. It's also important to note that once you extend your stay as a visitor, you can no longer work in Canada. However, you can apply for a visitor status and continue working until your work permit expires. So this option may be suitable for those who simply want more time in Canada and have enough funds to support themselves for several months. But if you're looking to continue working in Canada, this is not the best option for you. Up next, option 4, apply for permanent residence. Your working holiday visa work permit, though temporary, may make you eligible for permanent residency in Canada. If you've gained significant skilled work experience in and outside of Canada, have post-secondary education or proficiency in English or French, then you might qualify for economic immigration pathways such as express entry or the provincial nominee programs. Another option is to consider Quebec's unique immigration programs, especially if you've gained work experience there and are proficient in French. Alternatively, if none of these options apply to you, perhaps you've found someone in Canada worth staying for. If your partner is a Canadian citizen or permanent resident, and you're married or meet the definition of a common law relationship, they may be able to sponsor you for permanent residency through spousal sponsorship. Last but not least, let's talk about option 5, and that is to get a study permit. If you've saved up enough funds for your time working on your working holiday visa and want to explore self-improvement, maybe consider immersing yourself in Canada's education system. With some of the world's top-ranked universities, Canada offers quality education opportunities. Moreover, having a Canadian study permit allows you to work while studying, typically up to 20 hours a week. After graduation, depending on your chosen program, you may also be eligible to work on a post-graduation work permit for up to 3 years, allowing you to stay and work in Canada longer. However, just be aware that choosing to study in Canada means paying international student fees, which are generally higher than domestic student fees. But the pros should outweigh the costs, as gaining Canadian education and possibly skilled work experience on a PGWP can significantly enhance your eligibility for Canada's permanent residency programs. As we conclude this video, here are some key takeaways and advice to keep in mind for staying in Canada after your working holiday visa. First, plan ahead. Immigration applications can be time-consuming and tedious. Be prepared for this process by planning ahead and understanding the steps involved. Make sure to check out our wide array of resources designed to get you prepared, such as our guide on how to apply for an IEC work permit, common mistakes to avoid on your IEC work permit, and how much it costs to move to Canada through the IEC. Second, have a contingency plan. Before coming to Canada, consider alternative plans in case your initial plans don't work out. This ensures you're aware of your next steps and the risks involved in your immigration journey. Finally, ask for legal help. If you find any of the options too complicated or need professional guidance, don't hesitate to seek help from authorized professionals such as immigration lawyers or consultants. They can offer support and extensive knowledge to navigate the process effectively. Anyway, that's it. We hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, please consider sharing it with someone who may need to watch it. Don't forget to check out all the relevant links in the description box below for further information. Also, if you have any questions about your working holiday visa, feel free to comment it down below so we can support each other in the process. Thank you once again for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.